So when it comes to health, I've always had this idea that our health isn't unlike a lot of other things. And one of the things I like to compare it to is the idea of a GPS, that you want to know where you're going. I think in life, everybody wants to know where they're going, you know, and when you're talking about your health, you want to know where you're going. But ultimately, we got to talk about a couple other things. Where are you? Where'd you start? So we're going to use a GPS example today. We're not going old school triptychs. Remember your mom and dad?
Yeah.
Your dad.
Nobody has to stop at AAA.
Yeah, I think your dad still gets triptychs.
He'll still grab a triptych.
Yeah, and the triptych's good. But you know, in this day, we're talking about GPS. And then the last time we talked about this, there weren't updates to GPS that are there now. So I'm excited to kind of rehab this conversation because I think it's really, really becoming even more relevant with technology. So buckle up. We're going to talk about your health and just how it relates to where you're going. So if we get into this and we're talking about our health, I think the goal is that we all have a place that we want to be in our health. So if I were to ask you, like, what is it you want in your health over your lifetime?
Vitality. I mean, I just want to live a really long, healthy life that isn't riddled with sickness, with disease, with injury, with chronic conditions, things that I'm trying to overcome. Like, I want to live at 100% expression of exactly who God made me to be. I want to be able to show up. I want to be able to perform. I mean, I was at a, I noticed I was coaching, I'm coaching my daughter's volleyball team. And I realized when I was feeding balls to the girls, I kept doing it from one side repetitively, and it kind of brought me back to the days when I was personal training, and you just naturally go and you lift weights up all day with your right hands when you're moving in from clients, and it was something that I had to intentionally get in front of and think, oh, I need to start grabbing things with my left hand. And so I switched sides. I started feeding balls from one side, I was feeding them from the other, right, when we were doing that volleyball practice. And then in the same example, we had to switch sides of when we were going to pick weights up for clients. I was like, I need to start grabbing these weights with my left hand and moving them around. And so, and I was able to live. Just there was nothing that was that example is really just to show there was nothing inside of those exercises or the things that we were doing that was like, well, I just can't do that. Like, I can't lift these for my clients, or I can't go run. It was a 2.5 hour volleyball practice. It was a really long one. I was like, there was nothing in me that just was stopping me from being able to live out the fullness of that. And those are little examples. There's a lot more big ones during the day, but kids and family are important. And so being able to show up at 100% is really important.
Yep.
But then also showing up is really important at 100% in the things that I'm doing on a day-to-day basis, on the things that God put me on this earth to do and to accomplish and to really, act in service of. If I'm somebody that's meant to go serve and volunteer and do those things, but I'm just too exhausted at the end of the week, and I'm like, man, I can't show up and serve.
Yep.
Then we got an issue. And so I just want to be able to live at 100%.
So adjectives, you said vitality.
Yeah.
Longevity.
Yep.
Balance.
Yeah.
I mean, weights in the right hand and weights in the left hand. Mm-hmm. You don't want life to get out of balance. Enjoyment.
Yeah.
Enjoyment. I think that's a big one. Capability. Right. To be capable. Yeah. And even better than capable, to be able to, you said high performing.
Yeah.
I like that, high performing. So to be able to actually, do the things that you're doing now and maybe even more, regardless of your age in the future. I think sometimes people get into that idea of like, I just want to keep being able to do the things I like to do. It's like, well, what if you have like 40 years left? Like, you don't want more?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's just pickleball. You want to be an average pickleball player? Do you want to get a little bit better? Like, I think unfortunately though, I think that's what people think. I just want to be able to play pickleball. It's like, you kind of suck at pickleball. Do you want to get better at pickleball? They're like, well, yeah, I want to get better, but I want to be able to keep, well, then let's talk about getting better. Let's not.
We were talking about that this week because we were saying we had I'm a part of a tennis league, and that we had a coach at one point in time, like our very first coach, that was kind of like, hey, this is the way you're supposed to do it, but you guys are all middle-aged and it's not like you're going to the Olympics, so just do it like this, And then he had left, he had retired, and they hired in a new younger coach, and this guy came in, and we were laughing about it because we were like, dude, this guy really believed that we were just all going to the Olympics. Like,
Yeah.
he was training us, like, this is the standard.
Yeah.
This is what I'm holding you to. This is how you do it with excellence. This is how you do it right. And we were all like, we all kind of were like, okay, this is how we're going to do it.
And he probably didn't actually think you were going to the Olympics, but that was what he conveyed.
Yes.
And it was like, there's more in the tank. And I think for every one of us, there's more in the tank. So when I look at that, it's like, okay, so if you were to, like, right now, you take out a piece of paper and you go, what do I want my life to look like? You're 35, you're 45, you're 55, you're 65, whatever it is. And then you go, what am I trying to get to? What's the goal? Where am I trying to go? 80, I think 80 is a good number. 80 plus is a great number. You like, when you hear somebody pass away, they were 88 years old, you're like, oh, they probably had a good life. They had a good run. You know what I mean? If you hear somebody who's like 102, you're like, dang. You know, what were they doing? What was in their water? Yeah. But I mean, we all have like that. There's a time frame that we're trying to get to, ideally, to enjoy life, to be around our, families, to see the grandkids grow up. But what does 60 look like? What does 70 look like? What does 80 look like? Are you in a wheelchair? Are you in a nursing home? So then that's the second part is, all right, how long? And then that's where, what's the destination? Number 2, what does it look like? Are we taking the scenic route, or are we taking the straight path? We hitting green lights or red lights? And then beyond that is like, what are the adjectives? And so that's what we just talked about. What are the adjectives that define what success looks like? If you're in a car, is it like, are we stopping every 15 minutes to go to the bathroom? Are we, like, what's the trip look like? Because that's the other part of it. And the stressors that go along the way. So the GPS, I'm going to lay out the 3 essentials that you have to have in order to establish this where am I going plan. And I think the GPS is a great example. But then I think the way GPS has actually improved over the years, because it used to be you had to go to Best Buy and buy a TomTom. You remember that? Or a Garmin.
TomTom, Garmin, yes.
This is like, you had a flip phone,
Yep.
and basically it was a phone call machine with texting capabilities where you had to hit 1 to 3 times on every button just to get to the one letter you wanted to.
Right.
So back then we weren't using Apple phones or iPhones as GPS or Androids or whatever. Yeah. We were buying this thing, and all you did was, the first thing you did is it knew where you were. That's a very, very important part. Yes. We'll dive into that in a second. Number 2, you had to put in where you're going. Yep. And then the third point, people don't think about this, but triangulation's a real thing. Then it would track where you were in between those two. Are you on the path? Did you get off the path? Like what's going on? So there were really 3 points. And again, if you're writing this down, and I encourage you guys, when you watch our show, take some notes. Like, if you listen to our show on a weekly basis and it's every single week, at the end of the year, you have 52 different strategies for ways of taking care of your health, and you have notes on it. If you're the type that, you're driving around in your car, listening to a podcast or whatever, take some mental notes, hit pause, open up the notes button, and then hit the transcribe to text. I love talking to my phone, so I'm like, oh, that was a really good point from this podcast, blah, blah, blah. But take notes, because you guys will have a whole journal and a health book, so to speak, on what that looks like. So 3 points. Where are you? Where are you going? And then where are you in between those 2 points currently? So from the beginning, when you were born, before you even established this map, but God had a plan for you, you were born. And then one day you're going to die. So that's ultimately, those are 2 points. And then the third is, where are you right now? If you're 45 years old and this is the first time you've thought about it, you're 45 years old. What does your health look like right now at 45?
Yeah.
When you went to the doctor last time, is your cholesterol high? Are you 40 pounds overweight? Does your back hurt? Have you not eaten a green in 10 years?
Yep.
Are you on the carnivore diet? Do you work out 3 times a week? Do you do CrossFit 5 days a week? Like, where are you? And that's the thing I would write down. I would actually define that. Where am I right now? And write it out and define it. And the more you can define it, the better information that you have for going forward. Number 2, where am I going?
Yeah.
What's the goal? Is it 85? Is it 90? Is it 100? Some people are like, I don't want to live 2 digits. Everyone's living 2 digits. I heard that. I think it was an old lady that I used to take care of. She's like, I'm going to get to 100. Everybody's living 2 digits. I'm going to live 3 digits. And I was like, oh, that's really good. Because you're in a whole different class there, a centurion. Like, that's crazy. Right. But what's your goal? If you're like, Dr. Ryan, I really don't care how long I live. I care that I live it out to the fullest. I can appreciate that too. Right. 70 years in great health, being strong and functional, doing what you want to do, going snow skiing at 69 and dying at 70. Like, I'm not here to judge anybody. I just say, what is it that you want? What's the time frame? What is the goal? What does your health look like? What are the last 5 or 10 years of your health look like? What are you doing in those last 5 to 10 years? Are you enjoying it? What's your enjoyment look like? And map that out. So now you have, where are you, literally right now? Where do you want to go? And then as we go along that path, then we have to check in every now and then.
Yeah.
And that's the route is being recalculated. You know what I mean? Maybe you found a shortcut, a path that it didn't even know existed.
Right.
Maybe you're like, oh, I used to live in this town. This is actually a faster route.
Right.
We like, think about the hometown you lived in, and a GPS might take you one way. You're like, no, there's a shortcut right here. We have one to our office.
Yeah.
GPS would route sometimes one way or the other. We have one road that runs right along I-75 that if you know where it is, it's like the shuttle.
Yeah.
And it'll take you there quicker. And instead of driving 3 miles around, you're going to drive 1 mile straight. And so that's the reality is, what does that look like, and how does that happen in your life? What speeds it up? What slows it down?
Right, and that route recalculation, exactly what you're saying. Also, sometimes it's a speed bump that happens. Sometimes there's, you have a season of your life that might look like a few weeks, it might look like a couple months, it might look like a couple years. There might be something that happens that's like, hey man, things
maybe
went
you
awry.
missed a turn.
Yes.
Maybe you missed a turn. That happens frequently in our car. Mm-hmm. So maybe you missed a turn, and then all of a sudden you watch.
What happens? You have such a great co-pilot.
Well, let's take equal responsibility on this one.
It might be your co-pilot's fault.
Well, I'm willing to go 50-50 on this one.
Yeah. I love it.
But if you miss a turn, one of the frustrating things when you miss that turn, you're like, if I missed a turn and the time doesn't jump up 10 minutes, if it jumps up 1 minute, you're like, no big deal.
Right.
It's going to take me longer to turn around and go back.
Yeah.
But if it jumps up 20 minutes, you're like, oh no, what did I just do?
Right.
So in your health, what does it look like to miss a turn and to see that GPS go up 20 minutes? It's not 20 minutes in your life. It might be 2 years off of your life.
Right.
It might be in a wheelchair when you didn't want to be. It might be not playing pickleball or enjoying life for a couple more years. It might be, but when it recalculates and you go, oh no, then what do you do? And I think that's a question that you have to answer for yourself. Like, I can give you, suggestions, but ultimately you have to go, what am I going to do?
Right.
Am I the guy that's like, oh boy, I guess we just added 20 minutes of the trip? Or am I the guy that's like, there's got to be a turnoff here somewhere? Or am I going to use that thing I'm not supposed to use in the center of the highway?
Oh, God.
Right? Am I going to go back quickly the other way? And there are those options too. Are there things that can quickly get you back? Yeah, sure. That's when they talk about biohacking is not a strategy for your life. The goal is to live a great life. Right. Biohacking is, are there things I can do to speed up some of the places I've gotten myself into?
Right.
Am I getting into cold water? Am I going to get into a sauna? I should be sweating every day. I haven't for 30 years, so now I'm going to sweat intensely 1 hour a day in a sauna.
Yeah.
Speed up my immune system. I haven't, done a lot when it comes to temperature and differentials, so now I'm going to get in cold every day for 2 minutes. Am I gonna take a certain supplement? Am I gonna stand on vibration? Am I gonna do something to accelerate those changes? And those are those quick turns, things that you can use. They're tools. That little thing in the middle that you're not unauthorized vehicles aren't supposed to go in. It's there. It's quick. And if you don't get caught, it's all good. But you also don't want to get caught doing those things all the time. This is where I have an issue with like peptides.
Yeah, it's not a lifetime wellness strategy.
Is a peptide going to kill you in the moment? Probably not. Is it a strategy for success over time? Absolutely not, because the longer you're on it, the risk goes up and up and up and up and up. And then, you read about side effects. You're like, I had none of that. Well, stay on it for 2 more years. Watch what happens.
Right.
Right. And this is, right. So that's recalculation, recalibration. Sometimes it's not your fault. What if you run into traffic?
Yeah. You ever seen that on your GPS where you're like, oh, it's turning yellow and red, and we just got minutes adding on here, and what's going on?
Death in a family, unexpected.
Right.
Stress goes up. What's another example of something that could happen in your life that's not your fault, but it could impact your life in a tremendous way?
I mean, there's
Car accident.
Car accident, yeah.
Somebody could pull out in front of you.
Yeah.
They're wrong. You're right. Bam. Your health changes in an instant, and it might be, depending on how you take care of it, it might be bad for 3 months, and you're doing the right things. You're getting chiropractic care. You're taking some supplements for healing and anti-inflammatory, and you're going to PT or whatever. Or you could just try to keep going on in life, and then the reality is it's just like stop and go. You're hitting the brakes the whole time, and 10 years later, everything's actually significantly worse. Not your fault. Still your responsibility.
Yeah.
When you're in traffic, and you're really good at this, when we're in the car, you're like, there is a stop coming up ahead. Oh, don't worry, it's only like 3 minutes, adding 3 minutes to our trip. Not a big deal. There are times you're like, oh my gosh, this is going to add an hour. We're going to reroute.
Yeah.
We're going to reroute. So life's going great. Car pulls out in front of you. Accident. I'm under chiropractic care on a biweekly basis. I'm going to reroute. Now I'm a 2-3 time a week patient because I'm going to correct the damage that happened so I can get back on my pathway faster, and I'm not creating this huge delay.
Yes. Feel
absolutely. Free to add another one if you can think of one. Those are the two I had. There's lots more. I mean, death in a family is a big one, I think. That's an emotional distress. Chiropractic's a physical distress. So, when we get down to...
And there's also,
it can be a good thing. It can actually be a positive change. It could be a new child in the family.
New child in the family. There can be richness of friendships and community that build in your life, and you have something wonderful. There can be something negative, like there's job loss that really maybe it's nothing that was, it was something that was outside of your control, and the company had corporate cuts, and there's a restructuring, and there's things. So there's all sorts of like those pieces, and some of them are well within your control, and then some of them are not. And then sometimes you do things that happen. I mean, we will never forget. We were driving home from Florida, and we were driving through Louisville one time, and there was road construction, and you know how the highway veers off, and it's like, oh, you got one lane here, and then you got a couple lanes here, and you can go through all of them, but they're
where the highway splits.
Yeah, where
and it's usually
splits.
Multiple lanes on one side, or like the one lane, which is usually on the left, away from the exits. Meaning, if you're going to keep going, you should go in this lane. The problem with that lane is what?
We got stuck in an accident.
One car can jam it up.
Jams it up.
What was meant to be fast is now way slower.
Exactly, it was way slower, and we sat, and oh my gosh, we sat there for probably 2 to 3 hours that day, and we said, if we ever see construction and lane splits again, we are never getting in the one lane. We're always going to take the right lane. We're always going to take the multi-lane, right?
All right, I'm going to revisit
lessons you learn.
I'm going to revisit peptides on this one because I think this is actually good.
Yeah,
we all know that. The American food system is terrible.
Yeah.
Right? So traffic's slowing up. The food system is terrible. If you just do what everybody else is doing, keep traveling, you're likely to gain weight, your testosterone goes down, women's hormones get messed up just by eating what everybody else eats. Now, there's a different strategy. Obviously you can do things differently. But if you're just doing that, the shuttle lane right now, in what you're being promised with peptides is, this is the fast lane. Here's the fast lane, and you can get over here, and you can lose that weight you want to lose or do this, and your goal is I'm going to get to that destination quicker. I'm going to get my blood sugar under control, and it looks attractive. You're like that, but one car breaks down, that whole lane shuts down, and it's like tortoise in the hare, and these guys just pass you by. And so, what does that look like for you? It's like you take the peptide, and you're the person that doesn't respond well. You're the person that is getting the symptoms and is experiencing the quote unquote side effects, the undesirable effects. You're the person that, if you look it up, when it comes to GLPs, like you're the person that can't control their bowel movements.
Yeah.
That's a big no traffic's moving. Like that'll interrupt your life. You're the person that developed increased thyroid cancer. That was a thing with GLPs.
Yeah.
People who were susceptible to thyroid cancer, it was accelerating the rates. We could even go back to the time that should not be mentioned, right? And what you chose to do then. Did you take a shot? Did you not take a shot? looked like the fast lane. I'm going to get back to life. I'm going to get back less stress. I can go to movies now. I can go to concerts now. I can get back to work now. I don't have to be at home now. I can take the fast lane. But then what happens is then you have the clots, the strokes, the heart conditions, the turbo cancers, the things that jam up that lane. Yes. And it's like what appears to be attractive isn't always attractive. I didn't have that one planned for the show, but I think it's a good analogy. Two other ones that I like. If you're not Apple's doing it now, Google's doing it now, but the first one to do it was Waze. So if you're a Waze user, and I'm always like the Waze user, kind of like an Android phone user. I'm like, you use Waze? You use an Android? Like, I don't know you as well as I thought I did.
Yeah.
But like those people, like they kind of are breaking the status quo a little bit.
Yeah.
Waze was really good about this. Waze would tell you, please report it ahead.
Yes.
Doesn't
Waze integrate with things now?
Well, now I think they're all kind of using, it's kind of like when my favorite app for weather in the day was called Dark Sky. It was accurate within a minute, like 2 minutes. Yeah. Like people would be like, oh, it's supposed to be sunny and 85 today. I'm like, it's going to rain in 3 minutes. And Dark Sky was right. And it was like raining in 3 minutes. And they're like, how did you know that? I'm like, I don't know what they do. I don't know what Gandalf designed this or something, but like this app is, and then Apple bought them. Yeah. And now you're like, what's Dark Sky? Now it's your Apple weather. They bought Dark Sky and now it's part of Apple. So I think Waze is kind of the same way. Yeah. It was a better thing. It was a platform. And I think now everybody's like peeling from the same access. Yeah. I'm not a tech guy, but I think that's kind of how it's working is there's integration, but police reported ahead, hazard reported ahead, those type of things.
Yeah, there's no way I would ever know how to go to like Waze itself. I'm like, it just tells my other apps the right information. Yes.
So a hazard report ahead is something that's like in the lane. There's something that could cause some serious damage, but if you know it's there, you can look for it. Yeah. Right? So as an analogy, you're driving down the road and a semi-truck blows a tire and there's just tire shrapnel, I don't know what you want to call it, tire pieces all over the road. And if you hit a big one and it goes up under the underbody of your car or somehow gets caught in your wheel well, like it could cause damage to your car. Not your fault. Yep. But if you get hazard reported ahead, you know to look out. So, in your life, there are times, right now, there's like a lettuce thing right now. Yeah. Like there's a hazard reported ahead. Right. Don't eat lettuce from Taco Bell. Okay, no brainer. First of all,
problem.
No offense, but we always said don't eat out of a window anyway. So don't, I'm not going to trash anybody, but don't eat lettuce from Taco Bell is what they're telling you right now.
Sure.
Taco Bell has a distributor for lettuce. So if you actually think about this, you go, oh, it's probably not Taco Bell. It's probably who they get their lettuce from. Right. Does anybody else get their lettuce from them? Whatever. So that's a hazard. It's like, be mindful of this. I'm not telling you don't eat lettuce. I actually read the article on this. I don't watch the news, so I didn't know lettuce from Taco Bell was a thing right now. But I saw somebody post on it, and I was like, what is going on? And then I read up on this whole issue, and I found out, there's like this essentially a parasite that, there's contamination. And so what did they say to do? They said, buy whole head lettuce. When we buy lettuce, typically what do we buy? You can buy the organic bagged lettuce too. Sure. But if you went to a farm and said, I want to buy lettuce, they're not going to bring you out a cellophane bag with chopped up lettuce in it. They're going to give you a ball. Right? Or some sort of shape. Yeah. And then what it said was peel back the first couple layers. And then it said, do that.
Like when you buy your lettuce from the farm, you're usually peeling back the first couple layers anyway, because they're kind of weird and wilty and
Then it said rinse and wash the head of lettuce.
Makes sense.
And then it said chop up the lettuce, however you're going to chop it up, and then rinse or wash it.
Okay.
That's it.
Doable.
So buy a head of lettuce. That's typically what we were already doing. Right. But they were saying, watch out. If you're driving down the road, and like I typically drive the speed limit, maybe a little bit over. But if you're the guy going 90 and there's a hazard, it's going to come up on you a lot faster. Right. And you're going to be less capable of navigating around it. Right. If you're the guy driving the speed limit, you hear about it, you're like, oh, that might be a minute from now, it might be 2 minutes from now. You're already looking. And so in this situation, if you're the person playing fast and loose with your health and you're buying prepackaged stuff, and you might be the other guy, you might be the guy like, I don't even eat lettuce.
Right. And, that's a funny thing, too, because it's the fast and loose with your health thing. And the interesting thing is that sometimes there's a little bit of a desire in us, in some people, where they'll look at somebody that's playing fast and loose with their health, and they're like, they seem to be getting away with it. Yeah. So I might go do that, right? Like, it's like, they're like, oh, I see this person over here getting Botox, or I see this person over here making these health decisions that seem like I've heard that
it's working. Bad. Yeah, it's working.
Yeah. But it seems like for them it's working. It seems like I still see them up walking around. I still see them doing things, and what you're saying is exactly right. Is that, like, are there people who will play fast and loose with their health and they will get away with it through a lifetime? I don't know. Maybe.
I have a great analogy for this. You ready?
Yes.
And I'm going to throw somebody under the bus.
No.
But I love him, and it's going to work. It takes 4 hours and 30 minutes to get to my parents' door where we go to visit.
Oh, yeah.
From here. It takes 4 hours and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I have a brother who can do it in under 4.
Yes. Yeah.
So you guys know what he's doing the whole way.
Right.
And he's usually pretty good at it.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, we made it in 3:58. I'm like, that's awesome. Good for you guys. No stops. Kids didn't have to pee.
Yeah.
Boom, straight through. He was not doing 70 miles an hour.
Right.
A little fast, a little loose with the rules. Works,
yeah.
He does it on vacation. He gets there before us frequently. Sometimes we stop to eat. We stop doing 70. He keeps doing 89 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then he's there 30, 40 minutes before us. They get to pick out the best bedrooms.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Maybe they're being benevolent and they're like, we got here first, but you guys pick the bedroom you want. I don't want to throw him under the bus in that.
Yeah.
But I will throw him under the bus here. He has had multiple speeding tickets because you know what? You're going to get caught at some point. And in your health, and, again, I'm not going to say his name. He knows his name. He's not a bad person. He's a great person. Yeah. He's actually not fast and loose in his health. This might be the only way he's a little fast. And I don't even know if it's loose. It's just fast.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to do that in your health, if you're taking a peptide to speed it up, if you're, and again, we get into biohacking. Is there like, is cold water going to hurt you? At 2 minutes at a time, no. So when people ask me, what do you think about cold plunging? I'm like, I don't dislike it. I actually like it. I have a cold plunge in my house. What do you think about saunas? I actually love them. Yeah. What do you think about high intensity interval training? I like it. They go, what do you think about peptides? I'm like, I don't know. For me, it's like if the speed limit's 70, 79 for me is kind of where it's at. I'll get up to that maybe, but I'm gonna try to keep it below because I know that there are consequences for going 80, 81, 82, 83.
Right.
And in this situation, there are consequences for trying to cheat too much.
Yeah.
And especially when you get involved with pharmaceuticals.
Oh.
Like that's like the state highway patrol versus the local cops. They don't mess around.
Yeah.
And so you're like peptides. I'm going to get it in bed with pharma, and then you're going to try to accelerate it too fast. And then what happens is now the payments are heavy. You're not getting a warning. You're not getting off with a, hey, slow it down. Like this is. You went through a construction zone where you should have done something very different with your health. You're going way faster than you should have been. You're trying to accelerate the process way faster. And now the state highway patrol gets you. And then what that looks like is your health falls apart. You lose your license.
Yeah.
You lose your health.
Yeah.
You got to go to court. You got to go to the doctor.
Yep.
You have fines to pay. Now you're on a prescription for a problem that you created because you were trying to accelerate something or solve another problem. Again, another analogy I didn't even think of, but I think it applies.
Yep.
Police along the way, there are regulatory bodies. And here's the other thing. When it comes to your health, this is weird. There are regulatory bodies with your health. You have a Food and Drug Administration. Yeah. So the people that are selling you denatured, crappy food, who have allowed lobbying to happen so that our food, and we can all agree on this, over the last 100 years, our food is like, it's terrible.
Yes.
Those people who have made the decisions that said real food, you guys don't deserve it anymore. Like we're gonna determine what food looks like. We're gonna determine if pesticides go on it. We're gonna determine if we maximize crop potential by adding hormones or to beef, or we're adding GMOs to food or whatever. We're making decisions for you now.
We're going to cancel out all liability for pesticides manufacturers.
And we're not held liable.
Yep.
Okay. But on top of that, if you don't do, now it's getting to the point, here's the weird part. They're selling you crap food, and then they're like, oh, but we have the solution to the problem. FDA, right? Food and drugs. So then this goes bad. Now you need us for this. And then we're also going to regulate this. And now they're getting to the point where they're telling you, and we're going to tell you when and how you have to use it. And if you don't comply, and this is the next step, if you don't comply, you're in trouble. So here's the thing. If you take responsibility, you drive the speed limit, you watch the GPS, you pay attention to hazards, you look out for police ahead.
Yes.
And you take responsibility over your own actions, your own privilege, driving privileges. They call them privileges. If you take advantage of your own privilege in life and you go, I'm gonna do it this way, I'm gonna do it the right way, you don't run into these things. You don't end up recklessly driving, doing 20 over in front of court, getting your license taken away, paying out tens of thousands of dollars in fines, and potentially in construction zones going to jail for 5 years.
Yep.
What does that look like in your health? It's like, I'm already playing fast and loose with my health. I'm already okay with peptides. I'm already okay with prescription drugs. I take blood pressure medication for this instead of working out or taking more minerals. I'm over here. I'm controlling my blood sugar with metformin instead of changing my diet. I'm doing these things. And then all of a sudden, boom, COVID pops up. We haven't said that word in a long time, but COVID pops up. And they say, you have to do this. You have to take this, thing. And we're like, no. Right. I already don't do these other things. I'm not doing that.
Right.
I'm not speeding through the construction zone.
Right.
I'm not doing this. I'm just gonna keep it even keel. I'm gonna, obey the laws over here, and I'm not gonna get convinced I have to do this weird thing on the other side. But what happens is the penalties can be really high on that, but that only happens for most people if you're playing really fast and loose with it, or if there's a unsubstantiated fear.
Right.
I forgot to renew my tabs.
Yes.
And I knew I did.
Yes. Yep.
I knew I did. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm obeying all the traffic laws. And I just hadn't gotten to the DMV lately.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I literally found myself one day Googling, like, what are the consequences if you don't have your tabs renewed? And they're like, well, if it's within a month or so, usually it's not a problem. There's not technically a grace period, but if it's within 3 months, they can impound your car. I'm like, uh-oh. I thought they were to be renewed on my birthday. I was wrong. They were attached to my business, not my personal number. So it was October. I thought it was April. We were not in a good situation. So I went in and it was really easy. I said, hey, I need to renew my tabs. I think they're kind of overdue. And the guy goes, oh man, good thing you came in and did this. He's like, this could have been bad. And I'm like, all right, what are the penalties, whatever. He's like, there's no penalty, just pay it. And it's retroactive and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, really? Yeah. So you gotta do the right thing. But had I got caught in that situation, right, it would have been bad. So in this, when a situation arises, if they're telling you lettuce is bad or a bat, got loose and there's something going on or whatever, and they're like, you're going to have to do this. It's like, no, man, just go back and do the right thing.
Right.
Go back and do the right thing. Do what you know to do. You don't have to get freaked out, scared. I was driving around a little bit. There were times knowing that sticker on my thing was white instead of purple.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's a police car behind me. I'm going to get off this exit. Or I'm going to turn into this parking lot real quick.
Right.
And I wasn't doing anything illegal in terms of driving. I knew I was no longer under grace. And so you're not under grace when you're taking lots of pharmaceuticals. You're not under grace when you're ignoring your nutrition. You're not under grace when you're not working out. You're not under grace, I'll say as a chiropractor, when you're not getting adjusted and pay attention to your nervous system. So if you want to get from this place that you defined, right, where you're at right now, and you want to go to this place that you defined, where you want to go, where are you? What does the route look like? Are there hazards ahead? Is traffic being rerouted due to your fault or others? Are you going to miss any turns? Are you paying attention? Are you distracted? Are you distracted right now? And you're going to miss a turn? Or are you focused in your health right now? What does that look like? And so I think it's a good analogy, and I like it.
It is a great analogy. And, and here's the thing, is that there's a very real piece of this that's if your goal is to die young, be riddled with disease, be one of the people that, has some sort of really, really detrimental health impact in your life, whether it's a diagnosis, whether it's, cancer or heart disease or, all of those things that are so common in there, then the path is very easy, actually. It's a very easy path. It's just continue to eat conventionally.
Yep.
In conventionally what we offer in America, eat those seed oils. Go out to eat and eat the inorganic meat. Go ahead and eat, whatever it is. Don't have
fast
a colorful
food.
Plate. Go to fast food. Yeah,
grab the taquito at the gas station.
Right.
Grab the hot dog.
Yeah. Don't get adjusted. Don't worry about your water intake. Don't worry about any of these things. Yep. Just take pharmaceutical drugs to fix everything that is going on with not being able to get it, not getting adjusted, and for eating inappropriately. Take the pharmaceutical drugs, and then that route is going to lead you somewhere.
Well,
right?
and then you compound it, right?
And then you compound it.
You have
over
a
time,
slip, you have a fall, you get into a
Yes.
car accident. Take anti-inflammatories. Don't go to the chiropractor.
Right, and then every time you get.
Yeah, and it compounds.
It goes on, and then you go to an annual physical every single year, and your doctor just keeps taking blood and keeps saying, "Oh, we got to readjust the chemistry in your body because we're going to be mad scientists with the chemicals in your body and what we're finding from these blood draws."
Yep.
And you're going to get to a place that looks like that looks like what most people are experiencing, and so there shouldn't be any confusion when you're there, right? And it's not saying that if you get there, it's too late and there's not ways to walk some things back. Some things can't be walked back. Some things can. It's not saying that, but it's saying that is what it adds up to. And so if you're just doing the things that everybody else does, those are the results you're going to get.
Yep.
But if there's a place that you want to go that's distinctly different, that when you look around and you go, oh my gosh, everyone is morbidly obese.
Well,
everyone has all these health conditions. All of these things are going on. I'm going to have to be intentional about the decisions that I make. Then it's a different thing.
Yeah, I think we can close with this. I think this brings up, I think this will tie right into exactly what you're saying is number one, you have to know where you want to go.
Right.
The Bible talks about people perish for a lack of vision. You have to have a vision. What does your health look like? If you're walking around going, I hope I get lucky and live long. You have a desire. I'm not even going to say have a plan. Plan comes next, but have a desire. I want to be 80 years old. I want to see my great grandkids. I want to have a desire, and then you can work backwards and kind of re-engineer and go, all right, what's the plan to get there? But in order to re-engineer it, you have to go, where am I now? Really? Right. Because if I'm going to drive, my family lives in Michigan. If I'm going to drive 250, 270 miles to Michigan to meet my family, if the first turn is right and I just move left, I could drive for 250 miles and I'll never get there.
Right.
You know what I mean? I could be in Florida.
Right.
Which right now would be great. But
Yeah.
I could be in Florida, but I'm never getting to where I want to go. So it's the time, the energy. Your first decisions are the most important decisions, and that is what you're talking about is what is your philosophy? Mm-hmm. Where are you going? What is your philosophy on it? And then, we believe that there's the way that God created, and we don't have time to go into this, but there are things that just make sense because it's how we're created. And then there are things that man created. We talked about peptides, pharmaceuticals, these things. And we don't think medicine's inherently evil. We do think there's a lot of bad things in it. And so I think that's the poor choice over time. It might become more necessary if you make bad decisions early on, but it's the poor choice initially. So don't turn left when you should have turned right out of the gate. And then I think the intentionality. The intentionality. It's not going to happen by accident. This is what I love about your dad. Your dad still uses a TomTom because he's not going to try to take a call and pay attention to his GPS on the same device because it's too distracting. So he uses a TomTom. If somebody wants to call him, he doesn't lose his GPS. Intentional choice. Is it the most
up-to-date?
New and up-to-date? No. Is it totally antiquated? Not really.
Yeah.
Still gives him the route. Up until the TomTom, he would go to AAA and get a triptych. The thing about the triptychs that's great is they go, where are you going? Going to Florida. I'm going down to Fort Myers. I'm going to Fort Walton Beach. Okay, cool. You live in Liberty Township? Yeah, what's your address? It's this. What's the address where you're going? Here. And they literally print out a map And then what he would do is he didn't get it 2 minutes before he left. When did he get it?
Oh, a while. Yeah.
Days.
Yep. Days, weeks.
And you look at it. You go, all right, when we go through Kentucky, where are we going? We go through Tennessee, where are we going? I'm like, what's the route look like? And there's intentionality behind it. Your co-pilot, they have a triptych in their hand, and they're going page by page. Okay, Jim, and 7 miles, we're doing this. No offense, but sometimes our co-pilots are like on email. They're watching a show in the passenger seat, or they're listening to music, and I'm like, hey, where's that turn? They're like, headphones in. And you're like, hey, do I have a turn coming up? And they're like, oh yeah, it was right there. It was right back there. And you're like, oh crap. And you know what I mean? And sometimes it's on, the driver's not asking either, so sometimes it's their fault. But I think the intentionality behind the triptych of the idea is just because something is new, just because something has more options, just because something is, it looks attractive doesn't mean it's better. You still have to put intentionality into how you use any tool, and you have to take responsibility. When I ask you, like, hey, is that turn coming up? I feel like it was like 3 miles. I think I'm like right around 3 miles. You're like, yeah, it was right there. Part of it's on me. I'm not asking early enough. I'm not paying attention to the route early enough. I'm not paying attention to my health early enough. And then co-pilot, if somebody's co-piloting, you're taking advice or whatever, like, who are you taking advice from? Are they paying attention? Do they care? Yeah. We had a patient this week, had pretty obvious signs of a stroke, called their doctor's office. They didn't seem that concerned. Yeah. We were concerned. And so, who's looking out for you? Who's helping you? So take that into mind. Take the GPS. Next time you're in your car and you plug in a coordinate, think about your health. Think about, like, where am I? Where am I starting from? Where am I going? What does it look like? Next time you hit traffic and you're like, oh, what does traffic look like in my health? Next time you hear hazard reported ahead. Right. Right. Pay attention to that. And I think that will guide you and steer you a long way. I know we didn't give any practical advice in terms of what supplement to take or, how often to go to a chiropractor or whatever. That's great. You can listen to our podcast. You'll hear lots of that. But what this is the bigger overarching conversation about what is your health going to look like?
Exactly.